Hey everybody on YouTube, this is Kyle Snyder once again, aka Clipton, and I'm doing another top 10 list, but this time it's going to be different. It's going to be the top 10 movies that need to be made. Now, obviously there are a lot of movies out there, you know, some are good, some are not so good, and there are just some movies that just absolutely have to be made, but they have to be made right. And now, some ground rules I'm going to set for this list. Obviously, I'm not going to include Kingdom Hearts on my list because I feel it's just fine as a video game series, and if it were to be made a movie, I mean, it would not be enough to cover like up to 3 hours. I mean, obviously, Kingdom Hearts, it takes a very, very long time to cover the entire story, you know, or at least parts of the story. But still, Kingdom Hearts is going to be off this list. Also, I'm not going to include any NFL movies because I feel that NFL Films does a great job covering their entire history. You know, NFL Films, in my opinion, is a lot better than Hollywood. They have great production teams. They have great storytelling. Yeah, so anyways, let's go on to the list. Top 10 movies that need to be made. Number 10, Bushido Blade. Those who have played this game and back 15 years ago know what I'm talking about. I mean, the main story in the game is basically a society in a dojo is really a group of assassins, and those who know it aren't allowed to leave, but someone breaks their vow of silence, leaves, and, you know, basically fights on. You know, depending who it is, you know, is who you select. It would make a great story. I mean, I really would like to see some Japanese films here in America. You know, it would be fun to watch. Let's see. Number 9, Monty Python and the Holy Grail 2. In my opinion, Monty Python and the Holy Grail is the best Monty Python film out there. It's funny, it has a great take on King Arthur and his quest for the Holy Grail. The only thing that sucked about that movie was the ending. It wasn't really that much of an ending. It was, they're going for the final attack on the castle, but they get arrested at the end, and it's like, are you serious? So they need to make Monty Python and the Holy Grail 2 so that they can finally conclude it, so that King Arthur can finally complete his quest to get the Holy Grail, etc., etc. Anyways, number 8, Ninja Gaiden. Those who have played Ninja Gaiden games know that this would make a great action-packed movie. You'd have a lot of ninja action, you'd see a lot of, you know, obviously there would be a lot of violence and all that, but hey, yeah, I'm all for action-packed movies. We need to see more of them. Anyways, Ninja Gaiden does need to be made into a movie. I would like to see it made into a movie. The question is, who would play Ryu Hayabusa? I mean, obviously it would have to be an authentic ninja to play that part, because anyone else would be unacceptable. Anyways, number 7, another Mickey Mouse movie. Now, all of us who were born know who Mickey Mouse is. If not, where have you been living for the past few years? Or, where have you been living? A cave? Everyone knows who Mickey Mouse is. But how many films have we seen? How many full-length features have we seen with him in it in the past few years? Not a whole lot. We need to see another Mickey Mouse movie. I'm sure the children would love to see another Mickey Mouse movie these days. I mean, it's something that Disney could easily do, and I would like to see them try it, because growing up I was big into Mickey Mouse, you know, as well as a lot of other cartoons, but we need to see another Mickey Mouse movie. Anyways, number 6, Brothers Mario. Those who have seen the Brothers Mario mock trailers on Game Station here on YouTube, you know, Brothers Mario and Brothers Mario 2 Kong Country, is like, you know what I'm talking about. It's basically a mod of Grand Theft Auto telling a story, basically telling the story of Mario Brothers if it were to happen in the Grand Theft Auto universe. I mean, it's something that would actually make great movies. I mean, I would love I'd like to see it happen, as would a lot of other people. So if you haven't seen those trailers, see them now. Brothers Mario, look it up on YouTube. Anyways, number 5, Metroid, one of Nintendo's greatest franchises. I mean, there are a lot of great things that make Metroid a great series. The exploration factor, the epic boss battles, the gameplay mechanics, you know, the creatures you encounter. And it could easily become a movie. Now, what kind of Metroid movie would we see? I would imagine that we'd see, you know, the origin of Samus Aran, you know, basically how she became a bounty hunter and all that. Basically start from the beginning. But just as long as Michael Bay doesn't touch Metroid like he touched Transformers and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I mean, come on, turning Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles into aliens? What kind of a director are you, Michael Bay? Come on, I expect better of you. So if you know what's best for you, Michael Bay, you will not touch Metroid. You will leave it to someone who knows the history of Metroid and will stay true to the franchise. So as long as Michael Bay does not touch Metroid, I'm fine with it. And I would like to see a Metroid movie just as long as Michael Bay doesn't touch it, and as long as the director is someone who will stay true to the franchise. Anyways, number 4, Cartoon Eyes. Now, I know a lot of you don't know what Cartoon Eyes is. It's a book from an independent author on Amazon.com. I'll post the link in the video description, as well as the next 2 entries in this list. But basically, Cartoon Eyes is basically a group of friends at a birthday party. When they make the wish, you know, they get transported into the anime realm, and basically, you know, they gotta fight a war and basically destroy the main villain of a popular anime show of their time in order to get back home. So basically, if you haven't read Cartoon Eyes, be sure to do so. I highly recommend it, as well as the next 2 entries on this list. Speaking of which, number 3, The Samurai's Apprentice. It's another story by an independent author on Amazon.com. Basically, it's a story about how a boy named Kami, who's basically entire family died. He's living with his grandfather, and basically he meets up with a beaten up samurai in a war, and you know, he says, I want to be a samurai. You know, the samurai's like, you gotta sacrifice a lot in order to actually become a samurai, and Kami's like, I don't care, I want to be a samurai, and it basically changes his whole life. So it's an interesting story. I mean, if you're into Japanese stories, I highly recommend Samurai's Apprentice. You know, it especially gives a lot of people a better point of view on what it really takes to be a samurai, even though it is fiction, but I still recommend it. And number 2 is a book I wrote, The Sapphire Desire. And yes, I know I am biased on this, but not biased enough to put it at number 1. It's a story I wrote last year. I put it on Amazon.com, and those who have read it have liked it. And basically, the story is about 2 villagers of Ward named Jordan and Amy, who are on a quest to explore the ruined kingdom of Iridia in search of a rare treasure called the Sapphire Desire, which has the ability to grant any wish the bearer desires. And basically, the wish that they want to use it on is to become rich, and basically they encounter a lot more than what they were looking for. Monsters, raiders, other people looking for the Sapphire Desire. If you're into fantasy that doesn't involve the whole light versus dark thing, then I highly recommend the Sapphire Desire. You will not be disappointed. And finally, the number 1 movie that needs to be made, Destrega. Those who know what Destrega is, it is a PlayStation 1 game. It's not really that well known, but it really deserved a lot of attention. It's a fighter game that basically involves a lot of projectile attacks. It does have a story mode in it that I feel that really could be turned into a Hollywood movie. easily. I mean, and it's very doable to do a movie of Destrega. I mean, story mode is only like an hour and a half long, and it really puts a lot of Hollywood movies to shame. Let's say that. I mean, yeah, the graphics may not be that high tech these days, and the voice acting, you know, some of the voice actors might not be that good, but hey, what do you expect? I mean, it was a PlayStation 1 game. I mean, what do you expect? But easily, Destrega makes my list as the #1 movie that needs to be made. Now, of course, everyone has their opinions on what movies need to be made these days, but one thing we can agree on is that Hollywood can do a much better job at giving us the best entertainment possible when it comes to watching movies at the theaters. I mean, obviously they can do a better job at stories, and I feel that if Hollywood, you know, broadens their vision on what movies to make, then they could drastically improve. Yeah, they can drastically improve their profits. And, you know, basically that's my list on top 10 movies that needs to be made. If you have your opinions on what movies need to be made, leave it in the comments section below or post a video response. Thank you very much for watching. I'm Kyle Snyder, and I look forward to hearing from your replies.